Okay. Welcome to Exarban's new webinar series, Scholarships and Internships. Today we have some friends from is it the ELEVATE Consortium, is that right? Wonderful. With Central Community College, Southeast and Northeast Community College. So I'll let them introduce themselves, but I'm Shauna Dorsey with the Exarban Foundation and just grateful to have you all here today to tell us more about why well, for high schools and for employers, why we should all be excited about and participating in high school apprenticeship. So I'll kick it over to Kim to get us started.
All right. Thank you, Shauna, for hosting us today. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Kim Anderson. I'm the apprenticeship director at Northeast Community College. Been in this role for about 5.5 years. So Katrina.
Hi, I am Katrina Gray. I am the apprenticeship director for Central Community College. I've been in this position for as a director since 2022, and then as a coordinator starting off the apprenticeship program at Central in November of 2020. Twyla.
And I'm Twyla LaCure, and I am the new person in the room with this with the ELEVATE portion of this. I have been with Southeast for about 2 months now, and prior to that, I came from a public housing background and worked with a lot of young populations that are could potentially benefit from these relationships.
Awesome. Well, thank you all again for joining us today. We do have a short little presentation we're going to go through with you. Can you all see it? Does that look good?
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay, awesome. So we first of all just want to make sure we level set and everyone understands what the ELEVATE Consortium is and how it kind of formed. So Northeast, Southeast, and Central Community College came together. It's been about 3 years now to go after an Apprenticeship Building America grant. We had decided, I know Northeast was looking at it, Central was looking at it, and we decided we were stronger as a consortium and coming together. So the two of us came together and we asked Southeast to join us on this venture of really growing and expanding apprenticeships across the state of Nebraska. So between our 3 colleges, we serve 59 of the 93 counties. When we wrote the grant, our focus areas were on manufacturing, transportation, and information technology. Over the last couple of years, we've really expanded and we'll do occupations across a wide variety of different occupation subsets. So, like as an example here at Northeast, we have accounting, I have IT help desk, I have CNA, I have child development, all the way over to, like welding and industrial maintenance, things of that nature. So we're all over the board as far as what we offer from an apprenticeship lens. So what is a registered apprenticeship? Sometimes we'll hear people interchange the word apprenticeship with the word internship, and they truly are different. So we always like to kind of level set what is apprenticeship. So the students who are involved in an apprenticeship program, they could be high school students, they could be traditional college students, or it could be an adult learner who's looking to career change. So they are attending some classroom instruction at one of the community colleges. They're also working and earning a job, earning a paycheck, learning at that job. And then once they complete their program, they do receive a credential from the United States Department of Labor. Our programs, they range in length from anywhere to 1 to 3 years. It really depends on the occupation. I think we will all agree in saying that we like the programs that are 1 to 2 years. That's kind of our sweet spot and where we really like to be. But there are certain occupations like welding as an example, or electrician. Those are 3-year programs, 4-year programs. And so that's not something we get to decide at the community colleges. That's all decided for us at the United States Department of Labor. So kind of high level overview, what is apprenticeship? Couple things about differences between apprenticeship and internship. Apprenticeship is meant to be long-term employment. And we always talk about that with any businesses we partner with, when we're partnering with high schools, as well as, the individuals who are looking to be an apprentice, that we're hoping that you're going to stay at this career and this employer for a long time. We know that people don't stay at jobs like they used to, but again, we're hoping for a longer term employment pathway. It's not just a summer, I'm going in to learn a few things and I'm out. So that's one of the biggest differences between apprenticeship and internship. All right, Katrina, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about why high schools should be involved and kind of how that interacts with, why also the businesses should start thinking about engaging with these high schools in the apprenticeship program.
So the reason why high schools should be involved is because we're wanting to help our community and our businesses interact with the high schools students so they know what occupations are out there. They're looking for different occupations. They have a lot of influences with their parents and with their counselors. And we get a lot of times of high schoolers like, I don't even know what's all out there. So with apprenticeships, registered apprenticeships being inside of high schools and allowing youth apprentices and or even pre-apprentices, and I'll get into that in a different slide, but it helps businesses get into the high schools so they can talk about their business, talk about what they're doing, and talk about overall how their company works. Because I don't think a lot of youth apprentices, like I didn't even know. I was talking to a dental hygienist and she was a marketing. Like I didn't know that dental hygienist or dentist had marketing for their business. And so I was like, that's pretty cool. So just learning about the company and overall what occupations are just within the company, not just for the manufacturing side, but you need accounting, you need, HR, you need a receptionist. There's so many different elements to a company that when you get inside and you talk to high schoolers, it kind of like gives them aha moments. So that is giving the experience for the students. It allows the students to have a jump start to their career also. And then we also partner with JAG. I don't know if you've heard about JAG, but JAG is a program that Pillin is wanting to implement in all high schools, just like he wants to implement registered apprenticeships. And JAG is considered our pre-apprenticeship. And that means that JAG has students that go through their program, and it's a career exploration program. So they connect with businesses and they take their students to the businesses to interact with possibly a day of or an hour of job shadowing to see or tour to see what that company has going on. Thank you, Shauna. Shauna put JAG in the comments. So go ahead and go to the next one. And so when I was talking about how Pillin is wanting to put JAG and registered apprenticeships with inside the high schools, JAG and our three colleges connected and say, let's work together instead of against each other, because both of our programs are very similar and aligned. So what apprenticeships are, and this is what we consider our JAG, is meant to prepare a student to enter an apprenticeship program in the future. So they're considered a pre-apprentice and intern. So those two words you can put together, internship and pre-apprentice. Absolutely. The pre-apprentice, intern, they go in, they see what the job is, they see if they like it. They're not hired on, they're just exploring. And then potentially maybe if they are like, oh, I really enjoy this, I would like to work here, then they can move forward into an apprenticeship program and out of the pre-apprentice internship program. So that's why I like to put pre-apprentice and intern together. It also could include coworkers and or on-the-job learning experiences, which is extremely valuable to the JAG students or any pre-apprentices. So we can make sure not only are the students making sure they like what they're doing, we also want to make sure that the students are liking what they're doing, because hiring someone costs us. And if they get into the apprenticeship program and we think that they're going to be there for 1 to 3 years and they figure out that they don't like that occupation, then that kind of is like oh, that's sad. That's a downer. We took our time and we did that. So youth apprenticeships outside of pre-apprenticeships, it is a paid job. So the individual in high school starts off at their junior year being in the apprenticeship program. They would start their job portion of the youth apprenticeship in their summer of their junior year, and then they would work full time. Everyone has a 90-day probation to see if they like what they're doing, and then when school comes back around in August for their senior year, then they drop down the hours. But then you're exposing individuals to the job market, to your company. So students completing relevant coursework at the for the occupation too. So not only are they working, but they're actually taking classes in the high school in their occupation that they're working in. So that is the Earn and Learn program. There's a lot of aha moments during that time when a student is working and actually is taking classes with their same occupations. And then students also get a mentor, and the mentor is provided by the company to make sure that that individual is getting everything that they're needing so they can be successful within their youth apprenticeship program. Next slide. The high schools that are involved at this moment are Grand Island High School. They do have a Career Pathway Institute where they're on their own. They are their own registered apprenticeship program. We do connect with them. So if any youth apprentice wants to continue their apprenticeship program with their company and continue on with Central Community College, they come on over to the adult apprenticeship program, and then they continue on for another year and a half with the company and to complete an adult apprenticeship program. Mason High School, Hannah Aram, Columbus High, Columbus Lakeview High, Donovan, and Lincoln Public School.
Twyla, do you want to talk a little bit about what Lincoln is doing?
They are actually piloting one of the programs that's the most exciting. There's really two, but one is mechanics. They're working with students to develop, an interest in a pathway that leads them to being technicians, for the automotive industry. The other one is with New Americans and the English learning component to help families do a better job of getting job ready, and then also working to they're looking at their educational background and trying to get those things that have happened in other countries verified and measurable to where they're useful here in the United States.
And all the high schools do a little bit of a different, like Hannah Ram, we kind of base it off of what is available within the community and what the college can offer. So Hannah Ram is doing anything online like IT, early childhood, quality control, hospitality. Columbus High is they're doing welding and mechatronics for their first registered apprenticeship program. So is Columbus. Donovan, they're doing welding, construction. They're wanting to tap into early childhood and also into there's another one, automotive. So everyone might be a little bit different. I know Kearney High, we're looking into starting an early childhood pilot. So each high school is going to have their go-to ones that they see successful in their area, and then they'll grow on to continuing to have more occupations throughout the high school. And it's usually sometimes dual credit. So they're already connected. So we're not trying to create anything new. We're just trying to go off of what high schools already have in place so we can get those students connected to companies. And any company that is connected with Central or with any of the colleges that are on here, we already are connected with businesses. So when we partner with a high school, automatically those companies get to be a part of the high school registered apprenticeship program, and JAG utilizes the companies that we're partnered with and ask them, would you like to come in and speak to the students Can we do job shadowing? Could we do a tour? So that's the perk of becoming partners with the high schools, by getting in there and teaching those students what is out in the world and what do you think you're interested in. And then here's all of our information. Please contact the individual that is in your area. We are kind of cut into different regions. So if someone calls me and they're in Kim's area, I'll refer you to Kim, just to be respectful for all of our college areas.
And if you are someone who maybe your community college region is Mid-Plains or Western
Mhm.
or Metro, reach out to any of us. We can connect you to the staff there, or if you already have those connections at those colleges, please reach out. I know, like as an example, Metro is doing the related technical instruction piece of an apprenticeship program, but they're not managing the apprenticeship piece like
Mhm.
the three of us are. I know Western, they are looking at coming on board. They're just a really small school, and so just the manpower it takes to kind of get things off the ground. It's probably going to take them a little bit of time, but they absolutely do have an appetite to get something going in Western as well. Mid-Plains, I don't know anything for sure about Mid-Plains and where they're
There's
at.
talk.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we are more than happy to help connect you with those other colleges if you are in a different region.
That's really,
Absolutely.
really great. So I just love how the program has grown so much over the past 3 years as well. So can you talk to us about the employer side of it? I know you have a lot of success stories, so I would love to hear a couple of those.
You know, actually, Jim Tallon just popped on here, and he is one of our Twyla's business. If Twyla, you want to introduce him, and then he can share how apprenticeships look like through the business lens.
Yes, I'm excited. Thank you, Jim, for joining us today. Jim Townsend is with Kawasaki, and he has a lot of exciting things going on. So I'm going to turn it over to him and let him share.
I think you just put yourself on mute, Jim.
Good. So I'm
Yes.
okay now.
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I had some technical difficulties, believe it or not, trying to get in. So with one of the challenges that I think everybody talks about in apprenticeship is youth pre-apprenticeship. We talk about it a lot, but there's not a lot of it happening. So what we've done is we did a youth pre-apprenticeship in partnership with Southeast, where we over the last 2 years have had over 150 to 175 kids, 16 and 17-year-old high school kids from the Southeast Nebraska area apply for summer youth pre-apprenticeships in welding. And so this year, the guy that was the supervisor in charge of it, we were actually able to have 25 already selected for this summer. And these are high school kids that'll come in and make full wage welding jobs. And then I'll sign off on their youth pre-apprenticeships. They're half 16-year-olds, half 17-year-olds. And then on the seniors, we actually make job offers for the one. We give them all recognition for participating in the pre-apprenticeship. But then for the ones that are the top performers, we kind of cherry pick and make job offers, kind of like a sports team. So, for example, last year we had some from Wahoo that there was 2 individuals that went and met with their counselor and graduated midterm and started this is in January 25 as full-time employees. So that model is working really well. We already in year 2 of that. And the kids and we have some of the kids coming back that were 16-year-olds, and they'll complete the pre-apprenticeship again. And then they have that evidence by doing the pre-apprenticeship. They actually have the physical evidence they can show to other employers. I'm actually going to expand this now to technical jobs, robotics and automation. It'll be smaller scale because we don't have as many of those jobs, but most high school kids are getting CAD and robotics and automation in high school. So we're going to start selecting automation summer youth apprentices with the idea that those kids would then go through the ones that prove their mettle. We would offer them an opportunity to become an apprentice And then we would pay for their school to attend Southeast Community College, and then pay for their school, and they could continue to work for us. And then I would have them sign a contract that they'd reimburse us for their education. But we also are doing some things for internally. So that's the youth thing. And then we're also doing some things with maintenance. I think if you ask most employers, the hardest job to hire is people in maintenance and technical opportunities for maintenance technicians. So we've kind of just started to grow our own. So over the last 10 years or so, we've been doing that with sending employees to Southeast Community College Milford as employees and just paying for their tuition and paying their salaries. So once the Office of Apprenticeship opened up at Southeast, I was able to work with the team there, and we actually established a certified apprenticeship. So then they and have converted our pay for hourly people to a skill-based competency pay. And so then we'll take an employee that might go to school that's a level 3 employee. They return from Milford as a level 6 employee, and then they still can advance to become a level 10 employee, maxing out up in the mid to high $30 an hour range. And it's all based upon them apprenticing. So, and Southeast has been a great partner. So one of the programs we're working on right now is to take that formal cohort model, which I've been talking with the people at Northeast Community College and at Southeast that for employers, education works really well with cohorts. You know, they start in January and they go to May, and then they have the summer off, and they start in August and they go to December. That doesn't work for employers and apprentice programs very well. So we're working with David Cameron in Southeast to do an industrial maintenance apprenticeship, and Twyla's team has been involved in that. So right now we're going through a pilot group where I have 2 employees that are apprenticing to become maintenance technicians, and they're going and attending skills classes taught by Southeast for 2 or 3 days a month, and then they come back to work. So they're only gone for a couple months, and then they don't cause a hardship. And then we're going to try to establish either a part 1 or part 2. We're working with Jim Whiteman to do that and establish a certified apprenticeship for that also, because that's another way to get through. And I think that's really going to be more employer friendly because it allows that. So we're creating several pathways for people to come in. Then also, because we've established this apprenticeship, say there's an employee that works for Timty or Thunderstone or someone that, you know, wants to apply for a job here, we are able to take their history and skills and then look where they sit on our apprenticeship scale. And then we give them a longer probationary period. So we were able to establish a salary and recruit those people. And then if they're meeting that and they're signing off on those competencies, so it's a real show me type of a program. So to me, what makes apprenticeship great for employers is that you're not hiring someone that you think has skills based upon a resume or this or that. You can hire them that, but then they still got to prove it. So to me, the best advantage why you get involved in apprenticeship is that it's the competency based, show me the demonstration of competency, and then it makes it easy to do your compensation based upon that, and then also have the expectations that they can do the job. So
Go ahead.
it's been really successful. So with that, I guess I'll ask questions, but we're excited. We're going to start doing CAD and design, computer aided design, and robotics and automation are kind of the next frontier now for us.
That's awesome. I think one of the things that we know from the data, it just says that when a student has those experiences early on and an employer investing in them, that they're more likely to stick around. And so even if they don't stay with Kawasaki, which we all hope they do, if they stay in the state, it's a win for the state, right? And all of you are working together to make the workforce just more skilled and better prepared for the opportunities out there. So that's outstanding. And Jim, I'm glad you were able to join and share the firsthand story of what you're working on and how it's working. So what can we as a community do to support your work and grow it and just do more of it because we need more of it?
this is where I think I would like to jump in because as a person who's coming from a public housing background, and I've seen young adults that are 19, 20, 21, 22 years old that maybe didn't get a lot of direction at the high school level, and the struggle they go through just trying to find a path. And I think the sooner we can engage that student and get them excited about a future, a path, and hear from the employers like Jim that they're valued, they're needed, and there is an exciting, rewarding path for them. Who wouldn't want to be more excited about that than a kind of a path of no direction? And we all needed that in our lives. And I'm thankful for Jim and his team and for other employers who are willing to provide that light for young people who may not be able to see the path for themselves.
Yeah, I think, at this point, we just have an urgent call across the whole state of Nebraska. Like, we need to get involved. There are a lot of states in the nation who are a lot further along in apprenticeship. And even when you look at apprenticeship in the United States compared to over in Europe and some of the countries over there, we are way, way behind. I think it has been a slow turn here in the US for us to realize, like, wow, this is a great way to train people. And one of the things I always tell employers when I'm talking to them is being involved in an apprenticeship lets you help shape and develop that individual. Gone are the days where you send them to us, whether it's community college, four-year college, I don't care what, and then they come to you afterwards and you remold and adjust because everybody does things a little bit different. Like, let's all do that together. So that way, when they're done with us and they're done with school, they're ready to go to work for you, full-time employee. They know all of your processes, your procedures, your software, your equipment. Like, you want to be involved in that molding process. And so we just need people to get involved. We as the community colleges, we're here to help and support you in that way. There's a lot of work that we do to kind of lay the groundwork for you. And really, if you want to, you can just take and run with what we've already developed. Or, there's people like Kawasaki and other companies who are like, you know what, that's great, but I'm going to mold it a little more and kind of make it my own. Or I want to work with you to build a new occupation that maybe we don't have today. We're always open to any opportunity or any way that we can help our local businesses. So you just need to reach out. We're here to help and support you and your workforce needs.
That is wonderful. Yeah, and I'm going to, well, this is obviously recorded, so we'll share it with everyone after this. And I would love to set up a follow-up with you all to just talk more about what you're working on and how we can work more together. I love it so much. It's so great. So thanks everybody for your time. Jim, thanks for hopping on. And I hope you all have a great weekend.
Sorry I was late.
It's okay. It was perfect.
Thank you, Jim.
All right. Reach
Talk
out
about
if you
in at
need
the
something.
right time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.